The proton pack is not a toy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Proton Pack is Not a Toy. My name is Matt, and today again we're talking Ghostbusters Afterlife. But our unofficial slogan here on the channel is going to be no spoilers, no leaks until November. And so until November 11th, when the movie finally comes out, this is going to be a safe place to watch and enjoy content about Ghostbusters Afterlife, but not have any of the surprises ruined by any spoilers or leaks. And so if you're commenting on any of my videos, I also ask that you follow the same policy and don't put anything that you think might be a little spoilery or any kind of leaks in the comments for myself or anybody else to run across, because we want to see it fresh and we don't want anything to spoil it for us. So if you follow that, then we'll all be happy. Since that last video that I posted last week about CinemaCon, I mean, that one really blew up. I had 5 times the views in a 24-hour period of what I normally get for one of my videos. So you guys were excited to talk about that. And I did get pushed over the 500 subscriber mark. So if you subscribed since then, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at TPPINAT and on Instagram at The Proton Pack is Not a Toy. So some of the things that aren't quite enough for a full video, I'll just post pictures and things on there. So, and you also get alerts on when a new video does drop. Another thing that I want to talk about is some of the things I finally found in the store. I finally found Ghostbusters Afterlife cereal at Walmart and grabbed a couple of boxes of that. So if you follow me on Twitter, you saw a picture of my son enjoying some Afterlife cereal. And then at Target, I found Winston, Ray, and Peter from the Plasma series Wave 2 from the Hasbro Ghostbusters Afterlife figures. I'm going to wait a little bit to get Lucky and Trevor and Podcast, just because I had to drop $75 just to get these 3 at once. So we'll wait a little bit, grab those as we go. Speaking of Peter, Ray, and Winston, that's where I want to go with this video. How much can we reasonably expect to see those characters on screen in Ghostbusters Afterlife? I've recently had some conversations with people who are just now becoming aware of Ghostbusters Afterlife, or just now seeing the trailer, either the first or the second one, for the first time. And while they're excited about the movie, they're going through that process of wondering, well, will the original Ghostbusters be in it? And asking me those questions. And so I'm telling them, yeah, it's connected to the original universe. You're not seeing them necessarily in the trailer because they're trying to highlight these other people that are going to be in the movie. But definitely they're going to be in the movie. A lot of people are going to be in that boat, wondering how much are we going to see the original characters, and am I going to enjoy this movie as much if we don't see them on screen as often as I did in the first 2 movies. So because of that, I went back recently and looked at Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, and I broke it down by character, and then I basically timed how much each character was physically seen on screen for each of those movies. Keeping in mind that Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 run about an hour and 45 minutes each, you'll see on the chart, as I've rounded off the numbers, that the first movie is really driven by Peter Venkman's character at 47 minutes. Close behind are Ray and Egon at 33 and 27. Dana's actually in it for 20 minutes, and then Winston's really only in 2 acts because they hire him right after the montage, and so he's only in it for 14 minutes. We see Lewis for 11 minutes, Janine 6, Walter Peck for 5. The mayor's actually in it for 2 minutes. And one thing that might surprise you, because it's in the marketing so much, is Slimer's only in this movie for roughly 1 minute. Same for Gozer, and then same for the Stay Puft form of Gozer, 1 minute each. So they have a lot of impact for the amount of time that they're on screen, but they're not on screen very much. Let's switch over to Ghostbusters 2. Again, Peter leads the way at 38 minutes. Ray again has 33 minutes. Egon has 30, so a little bit more than the first movie. Dana's in this second movie for 5 minutes longer at 25 minutes. Winston gets a little bit more time at 17 minutes. And we still have Lewis and Janine at 9 and 4 respectively. And Janos is in this movie for 10 minutes. I could have included Vigo and Oscar and Jack Hardemeyer, but I didn't. you get the idea that they're going to be on the lower end of the spectrum as Louis and Janine and Janos are. We could assume that the originals won't get near the amount of screen time that they did in the first two movies, with maybe the exception of Winston. But this movie is going to be driven by Phoebe, Trevor, Lucky, Podcast, Callie, Mr. Gruberson. If we were to chart this out in November and put their times on there, my bet would be that those 6 characters would probably be above Peter and Ray and Winston if we were to chart it out. What I'm getting at is, while I'm hoping to see as much of those original characters on screen for as much as possible, seeing those familiar faces in Ghostbusters Afterlife, that's what's bringing me to the party. But we know that they're not carrying this movie, but they're going to have more than just insignificant cameos in Ghostbusters Afterlife. They're a big part of the story. So even if they don't show up until Act 2 or Act 3, I do believe that they're going to be a big part of telling the story that Jason wants to tell in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So what about you? How much do you need to see Peter, Ray, and Winston in Ghostbusters Afterlife for you to feel satisfied? Or is it more about the impact that they have and the quality of the time that they have on screen more than just the length for you? Post your thoughts in the comments, and I'll be back next week with another discussion video. Thank you guys for watching.